Coffee, the liquid fuel of office workers, sleep-deprived students, and parents who've been up since 4 a.m. chasing toddlers around the house. It's the drink that transforms "don't talk to me" into "good morning" in about 10 minutes flat. But for decades, coffee has carried a strange rumor that drinking it will stunt your growth. Parents have warned kids, "Don't drink coffee, you'll never grow taller." Teachers whispered it. Cartoons joked about it. And somehow the myth stuck. But where did this idea even come from? Is there any science behind it? Or is it just another case of adults making things up to keep kids away from their favorite pick-me-up? Today, we're pouring a fresh cup of facts to figure out whether coffee really can stop you from reaching your full height, right here on History of Food. Let's rewind a bit. The belief that coffee stunts growth didn't just appear out of thin air. It's rooted in a messy cocktail of advertising, outdated science, and parental paranoia. In the early 1900s, coffee was already popular among adults, but companies had to fight off rising competition from other drinks, like Postum, a coffee substitute made from roasted wheat. Postum's marketing team went all in, running ads that painted coffee as dangerous, especially for kids. They claimed coffee led to everything from nervousness to poor digestion to, you guessed it, stunted growth. It wasn't based on solid science, but fear sells, and those ads stuck around long enough to shape cultural attitudes. So kids grew up hearing that coffee wasn't just a grown-up drink. It was basically poison for their future height. And parents, armed with little more than ad slogans, passed the warning along. Okay, but let's get real. Could there be any scientific reason behind the myth? The main suspect here is caffeine, the magical compound in coffee that keeps us awake during boring meetings. Caffeine is a stimulant, and it does affect the body in several ways. It increases heart rate, boosts alertness, and can sometimes mess with your sleep. So the thinking went, if kids drink caffeine and it disrupts their sleep, maybe that would interfere with growth. Since kids and teenagers release growth hormones while they sleep, less sleep could theoretically mean less growth. It sounds logical, right? But here's the catch. It's never been proven. Decades of research have looked into caffeine and growth. And here's the verdict. Coffee does not stunt your growth at all. There's no direct link between caffeine consumption and height. You could be chugging espressos from the age of 10, and you'd still reach whatever your genetics had planned for you. The biggest factor in how tall you get is your DNA. If your parents are tall, you're likely to be tall. If your parents are short, well, blame genetics, not the latte. Nutrition plays a role too. Kids who don't get enough vitamins, minerals, and protein may not reach their full potential height. But coffee? It's just a bystander in the height department. Part of the confusion also comes from old studies about coffee and bone health. Some research in the mid to 20th century suggested that caffeine could interfere with calcium absorption, leading to weaker bones. Weaker bones equals signs shorter people, right? Not quite. More recent studies show that while caffeine can slightly reduce calcium absorption, the effect is so small it's barely noticeable, especially if you're getting enough calcium in your diet. In other words, if you drink coffee and eat things like yogurt, cheese, or leafy greens, your bones are doing just fine. The occasional cappuccino isn't going to collapse your skeleton. Here's another layer to the myth. Maybe it wasn't really about height at all. Parents just didn't want kids bouncing off the walls on caffeine. Imagine an 8-year-old hyped up on 3 cups of black coffee, zooming around the house asking why, 50 times in a row, refusing to sleep at bedtime. Coffee wasn't a growth issue. It was a sanity issue. So instead of saying, "You'll annoy me if you drink coffee," parents said, "You'll never grow taller." A little white lie to keep the peace. Honestly, can you blame them? The idea that coffee stunts growth also got reinforced through pop culture. Cartoons, sitcoms, and even school health classes kept repeating it. And once an idea gets repeated enough, people stop questioning it. It's the same way we once thought carrots gave you superhuman night vision, or that chewing gum stayed in your stomach for 7 years. Spoiler alert, neither of those is true, but they sounded believable, so we kept passing them along. So, if coffee doesn't stunt growth, should kids be allowed to drink it? That's where things get a little more complicated. Health experts don't recommend caffeine for young children, not because of height, but because their bodies are more sensitive to stimulants. Too much caffeine can lead to jitters, headaches, anxiety, or sleep problems. So while a cup of coffee won't make your kids shorter, it might make them unbearable at bedtime. And honestly, if you've ever been kept awake by a 6-year-old with endless energy, you'd probably ban coffee in your house too. Now, don't get me wrong. Coffee has plenty of benefits. It's loaded with antioxidants, has been linked to lower risks of certain diseases, and can improve mental alertness. But it's not perfect. Drink too much, and you risk insomnia, digestive issues, or that delightful experience where your hands shake like you're auditioning to be a maraca player. For kids and teens, the downsides usually outweigh the upsides. But for adults, let's be honest, we're not giving it up. Coffee is the lifeblood of Monday mornings, the only reason half the population makes it to work on time, and the thing keeping civilization from collapsing into chaos. So let's put it plainly, coffee does not make you shorter. The myth came from a mix of clever marketing, outdated science, and parental fibs. At best, coffee might mess with your sleep schedule or slightly nudge your calcium balance, but neither of those will keep you from growing to your full height. If you're 5'2", it's not because you started drinking lattes at 12. It's because your DNA said, "This is your final height. Take it or leave it." Just for fun, though, let's imagine a world where coffee really did stunt growth. You'd have NBA scouts patrolling Starbucks asking baristas, "Any tall kids been drinking decaf?" Parents would be sneaking kale smoothies into mugs, telling their kids it's cold brew, and entire generations of coffee lovers would be hobbits by now. Cute, maybe, but not exactly practical. At the end of the day, the coffee stunts growth myth is just that, a myth. Coffee might not be the best drink for kids, but it's not stealing anyone's inches. Height comes down to genetics and nutrition, not what's in your mug. So go ahead, enjoy your espresso, cappuccino, or pumpkin spice latte guilt-free. It won't make you shorter, though it might make you talk a little faster than usual. And the next time someone tells you coffee stunts growth, you'll know the truth. It's all a tall tale. If you enjoyed this video, please check out our other bingeable channels. Thank you for watching. If you have suggestions for our next video, feel free to share them in the comments below. We'll be sure to give you an acknowledgement for your contribution.